practice yet this year, I don't think.
We're going to have him for Tampa Bay.
Okay.
I believe we're going to have, I know Bill Vinovich and his crew will be here, and Brad Allen, I believe. We're going to have 2 NFL crews here, one to work the Tampa side and then one to work our side.
Was that, I guess, something different? I'm trying to think. I thought you guys had him at practice last year.
Usually, if we don't do a joint practice, obviously, I would bring him in like the first week or so, but since we're having the joint practice next week after this game, then just wait till then.
You happy with the work you guys have gotten done so far through the first 2 weeks?
Yeah, I am. Pleased where we're headed and the work we've got done. It's, one of the things with training camp, you, as a coach, you try to provide the competition, and we've seen a lot of good competition out there, and plus we're, putting guys in some positions to see what they can do, and that's part of the developmental process. So I've been pleased where we're at right now.
Any issues on the offensive line, injury-wise? Does that affect your thought process on Trevor Saturday?
No, we're still in a good spot with the with the 5, right now. Hopefully with Anton today, tomorrow, we'll see where he's at. Hopefully we get him back out on the field on Wednesday and some time and get him ready to go. And Cam has been working, some individual walkthroughs, get him going again, coming up. Ezra, we'll just have to see, with him. I don't want to push him, with his, I think it's his left heel. Just want to make sure that he's 100%. But, these first couple games are, we get to control kind of what we do offensively. And, again, you just want to see execution and the guys play hard.
As you go into that first preseason game, how do you balance trying to get some of the young guys in, I guess, situations so you can see what they can do during those game, type situations?
Well, as soon as, and you guys know, I usually play the starters or the penciled-in starters, a series or 2 in this first game and then get them out. And then really from there, it's we want to look at everybody. And so you have 3 quarters, maybe 3.5, to really get a good look at a lot of the young players and see what you have there. And so sometimes it doesn't work out that way, maybe guys play more special teams than they do offense, defense, but at the same time, you still want to give everybody a chance to get in this game and play.
How do you balance that evaluation from what you see guys on the practice field to, what you see from them on that game field?
Well, the, game, it's real. Officials under the lights, everything's magnified. The false starts in practice, we correct it, but false start in the game, we back it up 5 yards. Stuff like that. It becomes real. So just those little things, details, but at the same time, it's an opportunity for these guys to really kind of showcase themselves and put their best foot forward.
When you look at the time that you've spent over the years with Andy, both being on his staff and coaching against him, what is it that separates him in whatever way you feel from just other coaches? And when you look at his success, other than having 3 of the best players in the National Football League.
Helps. It helps. The success that Andy's had in his career, go back to Philly, Kansas City, obviously, it's he understands the process, meaning it's you're not a finished product in September. He builds through the entire season and becomes a finished product at the end of the year, and he understands that and understands his team. One of the things I've learned from him, working with him and playing for him, is his attention to detail with every little thing. It matters, and this is the same thing that I stress with our guys here, that we can't let just little minute 6-inch step here becomes magnified in a game, right? And so he does the little things better than most, and probably better than anyone in the league. And obviously he's done a great job with developing the quarterback position, and he's had great quarterbacks. And it's just the way he, I think really kind of keeps his thumb and sort of the pulse of the team.
What about in terms of his ability to identify and seemingly hire the right people along?
Yeah, I mean that's a big part of it. Surrounding himself with the right coaches, the right guys, and he's done a great job of that. I think he, obviously was on a great staff and way back in Green Bay when Mike Holmgren was there, and there were some great coaches there, and he learned it. At that point, and then when he went to Philly, he had a plethora of coaches on that early, those Philadelphia Eagle staffs, and even now in Kansas City. And so his ability to not only develop his team, but develop young coaches and coaches on his staff to either become coordinators or head coaches in this league, I think that's something that it's a special talent, and he's got it.
Doug, in regards to Devon Hamilton, how would you describe the camp that he's having for you?
He's been great. It's been exciting for me just to see him back out, and he's healthy and playing well, and we just hope we can continue to develop him and get him ready, as we head towards opening day. But I've been really pleased where he's at, and he continues to improve.
Hey Doug, have you been pleased with, obviously I think you are, but once Cam knew he had the job, Cam Little's, the way he's kicked since then, he obviously kicked well before, but since then, including Saturday, he appeared to do very well. So are you pleased with his response to getting the job?
I am, and it's still early. I mean, let's not, got a lot of football ahead, but he's done a nice job to date, right? And tried to put him in some situations, in that stadium practice, and that's why I tried to get the fans going at the end. Just that was in our minds, we treated that like a game-winning field goal. So he did a great job, and he's done a great job. And we have to. I think we want to be careful with him. We don't want to overkick him, but at the same time, put him in situations where he maybe feels a little more pressure, and hopefully in these games coming up that he'll get a chance to do that.
With you looking for younger guys to step up on the field, have you also seen anyone step up in the leadership role? Guys like Dewey Wingard and Cam Robinson being hurt, does that leave more room for there to be some team leaders like stepping up?
Yeah, I mean, I think of the defensive side. I think of where Tyson Campbell and his growth and what he's now, bringing to the football team. And one of the things that I've challenged him to is a little more of a leadership role on defense. Because it's still kind of a young secondary in a way. Foyer, Devin Lloyd's been another one on defense that's been more of a presence out there in a leadership role. I think offensively, you look at some of the young guys, Tank Bigsby has done a nice job in that role, and then the offensive line is the offensive line. Some veteran guys in there. In the receiver room, you look at what Christian's done, with that group, and you're starting to see, Brian really kind of, I don't say come out of his shell, but at least open up a little bit more. And I think it's a direct, I guess correlation with what Christian does in that room as well.
You want to see progress from those second-year guys? Have you seen enough?
Welcome.
Oh, hey, what's up?
Yeah.
Apologies if you were asked this already. Ventrell, as far as his status, but also availability for Saturday, knowing he's had a pretty darn good camp up to this point.
Yeah, no, Ventrell's done a nice job, put himself in a good position, both defensively and on special teams. He's got the hand right now. He'll be out there today. He'll be in an orange jersey. Try to limit some contact. Just don't want to bang that thing around, but should be good to go for Saturday.
Have you seen enough from the second-year guys to get a feeling on how much progress they've made?
We have. We've really put those guys in position to see what they can do, and I think Brenton's done a great job there. Looking at him, I think Tank's done a good job, picking up, and some of those guys that really have embraced that role that they're in, and even though they're still kind of in those backup, Ton was probably the only one that right now is missing some time, but he was in a good position, obviously, before his injury, but been pleased with those young players.
You got a number of first-year players, you got rookies, and then of course you got guys that have come into this this franchise. Do you Do you grade differently the rookies compared to those who have had experience in this league? Because they're all coming into a system that you and the coaches are running.
Yeah, it's different for both groups. Obviously, veterans know what training camp is all about and kind of how to navigate, the turbulence of camp a little bit. The highs and lows. Young guys are kind of figuring it out every single day from that standpoint. But I think from the X's and O's, it's still a matter of teaching and as coaches, just putting them in positions to show us what they know mentally with schemes and all that. So I think from the mental side, it's kind of the same for both, even though I'd say a veteran player has probably a leg up just because his knowledge of the game and we called it this, where I came from, and it's now this, so they can compare it to, kind of where they've been. But the young guys, this is that time of camp too where that wall starts to kind of hit them just a little bit. Fatigue sets in, soreness sets in. Obviously, we've been going pretty hard, this past week. So it's how they push through that now as we get ready for this game.
What's the key to pushing through that?
What's that?
What's the key to pushing through that for young guys?
It's just a mindset. It really is. It's their mental. I do what I can to try to take care of their bodies in the afternoons and the way the schedule is set up. But it's them becoming a pro and what it means to be a pro, how to take care of their bodies, what it means to get rest at night, what it means to hydrate or eat, study when they're tired, and that's all that's the process that they have to learn, because it's probably more of that mental grind, especially when your body gets tired. They wear down mentally a little bit, and the ones that can really stay mentally strong really find a way to kind of push through it.
Your personality, was that something that Mac needed coming here to kind of get a fresh start?
I don't know if it was me. I think it was just, for him, I think it was just the fresh start, really. There's a lot of factors, right? I mean, obviously he's coming back home and place he's familiar with, grew up the whole thing, played ball here, and that helps. That helps a lot. And I think just, that in itself, being around, us as an offensive sort of staff, I think has helped him a little bit to grow and kind of mature as a quarterback and really continue to learn the game.
Go ahead. I was gonna say, seems like he's having a pretty fun time.
He's gonna have a fun time no matter what. I mean, that's I think that's just his personality. He's great in the locker room, great with the guys. He's sometimes he drives us crazy with some of the stuff he does or says, but it's good. I think it's really good because when he gets in there, it's business, and he's a competitor and he loves to compete.
Provide an example of some of the stuff that drives you crazy.
I don't know, just some of the things he says out there. I can't really repeat them all, but it's pretty interesting.
Quick weather one. Do you guys address with rookies or free agents what Florida can be? Obviously, we got tropical storm coming in.
We do. We spend some time, explaining to them that we live in Florida and the weather can change, in a minute. And when we prepped everybody for this storm coming in and making them aware of what can happen, and I think it's for everybody, even some of the new coaches that are on staff that haven't been, a part of these storms. And we want to make sure safety first, obviously, and make sure that we either come here safely or get home safely, and if we got to adjust, we adjust.
Wrap it up.
Do you expect to see?
You sure? Okay, thanks. Guys.
Yeah.
So,
She was flagging me down. Sorry.
I was flagging John down, but it's a cool coach. Gabe Davis came in with an injury. He's slowly progressed. Now he's 100%. But do you hesitate at all for that preseason game against the Chiefs to kind of bring him in full throttle? Or is there like a pace that you're trying to get him through? Because he was brought here to, for the long haul. You know what I'm saying? And he just got healthy. So what are your thoughts on that, on the pace that he's 100% game time mode?
Yeah, I mean, he's now starting to kind of feel a little bit better each day. You know, you got to remember he came in during the rookie camp. You know, so for 3 days he was working, and but you know, I plan on you know, playing him some and get him out there. You know, but there's a fine line with that, because as you mentioned, we want to make sure he's healthy for the entire season, and he's done some really good things in practice, and he's showing us enough that, you know, and he's one of those veteran guys that you don't really need to see a ton of in preseason games. But at the same time, I think it'd be good for him to get out there with his guys, especially this first one, you know, home game, all of that, and feel that experience.
Much anticipated.
Do you expect to have Armstead available this week?
Probably have to get back to you. I'd probably not. And for the game, not for the game, but
yeah.
Obviously we're getting close. We're getting close.
So you're not worried about week 1 at this point with him?
No,
He'll have plenty of time.
no. We got plenty of time still.